Hi there, and thanks for downloading the on-demand webinar, How to Supercharge Your Site Search. This webinar will focus on four main topics. Firstly, we'll seek to understand the importance of investing in good site search and identify some of the tangible outcomes for both your users and your organisation. We'll then have a look at some leading organisations to see how they're using site search features to create a great experience for their users. In turn, we hope that these organisations inspire you to look at ways you can supercharge your site search to create that great customer experience. And then to help you get started, you'll hear about the exciting new site search features being released this year and some things you can do right now with Funnelback. I'd like to introduce the webinar speakers. Our first speaker is Sam Gilbert, Funnelback's product manager here at Squiz. Since Sam joined Squiz over a year and a half ago, she's been designing and delivering the next generation of Funnelback. Sam has 30 plus years experience working in IT and has undertaken roles in product management, business analysis, app development, and testing. Our second speaker is Simon Mcewen, digital solutions consultant at Squiz. Simon has more than a decade of digital industry experience, working closely with the public sector, higher education, and finance industries to understand the challenges these organisations face when investing in and implementing technology. So with the introduction done, I'll hand over to Sam to begin her presentation.
Thanks, Britt, and welcome everybody. So why bother with search? In today's online age, the ability to quickly obtain relevant results is expected. Your users expect to be able to get information without understanding your site structure, being familiar with your nomenclature, or understanding the information relationships within your organisation. And if they can't find what they came for without knowing these aspects, they won't stay. I'm a classic. If I can't find something relevant within 3 search term combinations, I'm out of there. And I think I've actually got worse since I started working for a search company and know that things could be much better than they are. So how do you make them happy? Well, first of all, for happy users, you basically need to make sure that your information is findable. You want to dynamically offer the most relevant content for the person, and you want to provide intent across your content library. You want to connect those services across your internal silos rather than be purposing up just a subset of the information that you contain within your organisation. You want to make sure that your accessibility is good and that there aren't any navigation challenges. And you want to improve the quality of your online content. You want to ensure that at any time the content is at the best it can possibly be. If you do these things, then you tend to have happy users. That's kind of only half of the equation. The other side is keeping some of the internal audiences within your organisation happy. I mean, there are departments within your organisation that want to make sure that you're increasing your user satisfaction. They want to make sure that your search engine optimization rankings are up there. They want you to ensure that you increase the average time that a visitor spends on your site, because that will, in a lot of cases, increase the chances that they will engage or buy from you. And they want to lower the cost of interactions with the clients. They want to reduce reputational risk by making sure that you're surfacing all the relevant information. And they also want to be able to boost the key marketing metrics that matter. So if you can do those things, then you also have a happy organisation. I'm now going to hand over to Simon, who will run you through some examples of how customers have leveraged search to overcome challenges.
Thank you, Sam. So look, attention spans now are kind of shorter than ever. You know, I'm typically invited in by directors of large public and private organizations. And these directors, they have the honesty to recognize that, you know, in a world that's driven by customer experience, delivering a good digital experience is absolutely vital. And whether that's looking to grow their customer base or whether it's looking to better service citizens, however it unfolds, the online experience is essential. And the customer journey now is no longer linear. And those organizations that really are investing in a relevant and personalized customer experience and in real time, these are the ones that get to reap all the rewards. So whilst your website's at the core of the customer journey, and whilst many marketers and communication managers are happy to see the value in website design, site search is often overlooked. And I believe the stat is around 48% of your website will use your search. And because they'll search with intent because they know what they're after. And so the challenge is If a customer arrives on your website and they can't find what they're looking for, then they'll simply leave to your competitor. Or even worse, in the public sector, if they can't find the service that they're after, they'll just call you, which is going to cost you money. So let's think about this. This is the customer-based journey search. So I'm using a financial service example here, and if you think about any of the banks, most banks, they've got all of these different assets that exist on their website, whether it's calculators and assessments and tools, and often these have been advised by different members of the bank for customers to go and look at. So if I go down the traditional medium here and I go into a bank or I talk to a teller, they're going to give me more specific information, and then I'm going to go online and do my own research. But often here, the conduit between the online and offline can be the search, and you'll see in here that search is overlooked and is not even included. So if I went into a bank and somebody told me that I need to go home and I need to search for X product that's available, I want to be able to use the search environment on the website to find exactly what I'm after. And if I'm not given that, if I can't find that, then it's all too hard, because I start thinking to myself, geez, if I can't find what I'm after now, imagine what it's going to be like to actually be a customer with these guys. And so what we need to start thinking about is, how can we start delighting the customer journey search by every time somebody comes onto the website, we're providing the next piece of the puzzle so that we can slowly nudge them along. Because the reality is, if someone comes to your website, they may not want to be forced down the user experience that the website provides. Instead, they might want to jump straight to what they're after. But here's a challenge that many organizations suffer with, and it's what we call the Netflix model. Everyone creates these personas and they go, I think I know, my customers have got the persona, I know their wants, desires, demographics, but how do you cater for this? Let's say you go onto Netflix and you go and search for a movie. Let's say you want to go and watch Ocean's 11. So you go and watch Ocean's 11, you type it in, you find it, you watch the movie. You knew what you were after, and you got the result that you were after, and that was a good experience. But let's say the next day you go back and you want to watch a movie, but this time you don't know what movie you want to watch. You just know the genre. So maybe you want to watch an action or a rom-com, but this time you're relying on Netflix to tell you what it is that you're looking for. And then let's say the day after you go, I have no idea what I want to watch. I don't know what mood I'm in for. So just suggest something to me. And this is where it becomes very difficult for organizations to cater for the customer journey when one persona is showing three very different behaviors across their search experience. So it does become difficult now, where we need to provide both a web experience and a search experience. So I'm going to show you 5 examples. And what the lens I want you to wear when I'm going through these is each of these 5 examples has a snippet of the functionality that Funnelback is capable of. It obviously goes a lot deeper. But what I want you to think about is, imagine if you pieced all of these different elements together on your website, and so on your search experience. What would that then be able to do? So let's have a think about Linked, or let's start with Linked anyway. So Linked, they had a problem with self-service. Really, they had too many people who were calling in because they weren't able to find out how they could pay the toll. They wanted to check the toll notice. And so they've invested all this time and money in the web experience, but yet it wasn't solving the solution. And too many people were calling in. Now here's the reality when it comes to this. The cost to serve here can be anywhere between $7 to $12 if someone picks up the phone and calls. But not only are you paying for it, I'm also very angry and upset when I have to waste my time calling in. Whereas we know that if you can self-service online, it's going to cost you around 21 cents. So significantly different. This means that you can reallocate your resources to other higher value tasks within the organization to delight the customer experience. So let's have a look at the live site and what these guys have done here. So if I simply just go to the website here, you can see the website. It has all the kind of go-tos: manage your accounts, open an account, buy a pass. But then what they've done is, if I go and click in the top right in the help section, we're using Funnelback's concierge feature. So here you can start to see the popular searches. Now these can be manually updated or automatically updated, but I'm also providing what we know are the 6 kind of go-to categories that they're after. And as a result of this, linked were up to significantly reduce the number of people who were calling in, which not only is a delightful experience, but I don't know about you, if I don't have to call my toll provider, then I'm going to be in a good mood. So let's go next. This is Chippewa Valley Technology College, Technical College. So these guys, they needed to remove the obstacles to increase conversion. There's a lot of competition over in the United States in the education sector, and the existing digital experience for them was complicated. There was a lot of information on the website, in particular when it comes to picking a college to go and study at. It's very emotional. There's a lot of thinking that's involved. You may need to relocate, and so you're trying to work out how you can make a fair comparison between all of the players that are available. So what they needed to do is they needed to remove any of these obstacles that were basically stopping the prospective students from leaving, because they know that a prospective student here could be worth $20,000 to $40,000 if they go and study with them. So they couldn't afford to have a busy, complex website. So instead, what they realized is if they could make the search experience as simple as possible, then they would be able to help prospective students to select them. So they come onto their website and we click on the magnifying glass and we type apply. Now we have autocomplete, and it's already providing us suggestion results. But what I like about this is when we click apply, if we scroll down here, it gives us our basic results. But what I think is particularly good here is that they've got this curated, this best bet, and it's bringing up 3 steps that you need to do. So complete a 3-step admission process. You can apply now, you can apply for financial aid, and you complete entrance requirements. So imagine if this was something like register your pet, or this was paying a fine online, or if this was applying for a credit card, whatever it might be. If you had this right here in the front, so it's the first step in the process, it's the first result that you see, you're going to be able to significantly reduce your site search exit. And this is what Chippewa Valley Technology College found as well, is they were able to convert a lot more students through their search. Let's have a think about the next one. This is Tourism Tasmania. So the challenge that these guys had is they have a lot of rich events that were regularly being updated on their website, but it was manually updated and they had to be then displayed on this map. And the issue here is that the staff were then prevented from working on other higher value tasks. And so they wanted a way that they could almost automate this process, but then provide a far richer experience for potential visitors who are visiting Tasmania. So some of the things I'm going to walk you through. Let's go to the live thing, and I can just show you live. So if we just click on the search, same thing. Go to the website, and I start typing in Hobart. Without even pressing enter, I'm already provided all of this rich imagery, around attractions or what to do, travel information, and so much more. Which is already just making great use of all of the assets that exist within the media library at Discover Tas. So we can scroll down, we can start to see some of the results. Got tutorial tabs, got editorial tabs. I can see within the search page, I can start seeing a map view. I can even add it to wish lists. What we quite like here is now we've got a map view, and I can start clicking into key points that have been pinned down in certain areas depending on where I am. This really is, not only can this be updated automatically, but also just provides a far richer search experience to the end user. And so what they're able to do as a result of this is they can have recommended searches, they can have searches that other people have sought out, and they've got far richer media, and ultimately they've just been able to find that people who have visited Tasmania have had a far more enjoyable experience. So imagine if you applied this to something in, say, the financial services sector, which is finding a branch, or imagine if you're a university, and I'm a current student at the moment, and when I go to university, I'm completely lost about where I go. And not only that, but my sense of direction is pretty poor. So even if I'm typing in Google Maps where I need to go, I often have to walk 200 meters in the wrong direction to realize I'm going in the wrong direction. Yet if you go and throw me inside a large campus, I'm never going to know where my class is. So then if I start to search for, say, the campus map, there's absolutely no good in providing me that campus map in PDF form if I don't know where north, south, east, and west is. So if there's a way that you can start to now provide a dynamic campus map that identifies where I am and then shows me where to go, that would be a far richer student experience. And so the next one is AustralianSuper. Now, the challenge that these guys were trying to solve is that in a business where everything's moving so fast paced, marketers are now challenged with having to create more content in less time and half the amount of resources and budget. And so how can they start to create one piece of content that can be reused over multiple channels? So what I like about what AustralianSuper has done here is they're using Funnelback to be able to bring in all of this content, so it's a far richer customer experience. So we have the basics like the retirement, and it provides you the suggested search results. But then also you can see here, we've got on the right, we've got sections which are basically indexed across all the content that's available. We have the different formats that are available, but also we have Twitter feeds being brought in and Facebook feeds being brought in. Now, what I like about these guys is they've brought in videos from their YouTube channel, because who's going to go to AustralianSuper and search their YouTube channel for content? It's very unlikely they are, but yet you spend all this time and money crafting the script and crafting the final output, and yet it sits kind of isolated on a different channel. What Funnelback has been able to do is they've been able to bring this in so that they know that those personas are far more likely to engage with this 90-second video content. Maybe they've got the persona that they're targeting has got kids in the background and they've only got 2 minutes. They don't have enough time to sit down and really read about all these things. And so this is a really great way that you can start to provide far richer and more educational content for a topic that really requires greater engagement. The next one is DELP. DELP is the Department of Land, Water and Planning. Now, the challenge that Department of Land, Water and Planning had was they had over, say, 30,000 documents, 37,000 PDFs that were on the website. And they needed, when planners came to the website, they were really lost and stumbling through how on earth they could find the document they were after. What this meant is that they ended up just calling in all the time, clogging the call system for something that really wasn't urgent. And again, this is costing them $7 to $12 per inbound call. Or they were going through the arduous process of just uploading all the PDFs and not having any search engine that could index the PDF to see if it's the right one. So it meant that planners then had to download all the PDFs to find out if it's the right one. And if they couldn't find it, then they just become rather frustrated trying to figure out which is the PDF that is needed. So not only did they redevelop their planning portal, but they also put on Funnelback that would be able to power it. So let's have a look at what they did. So you go into the resource library, you can see I type in planning and it's already starting to come up with suggested results. You can scroll down, you can start to see these are the PDFs and even the file size that people can know, I'm looking for a size that's a lot bigger. Starting to bring in some of this rich imagery from what we know is required, but also you can start to see here that we've got different navigations, different ways that the planners can actually start searching for documents. So there's a global site search, which you can see is split into different tabs for all content and media releases and projects. You've got to search by scheme. They've got to search by document type. They've got to search by location. There's a way that you can find older documents by type and age. And there's also a way that you can search for a particular address to return all relevant documents in connection to that. So as you can see, when it comes to all of these things, whether it's linked at the start where we have concierge, I've done nothing more than just visit the website. I click on search, which is indicating that the existing web experience that is being provided isn't giving me the answer I want. So I click on search and then I'm provided these drop downs and popular searches. And then let's say I go a step further and maybe I need something more. And then I have a look at the Chippewa Valley Technology College website. And we have these 3 steps that we know our users typically take whenever engaging with our organization. And maybe once they complete that, we need to dynamically provide content via a rich map, so that it saves our marketers having to manually update them, but also uses the rich imagery that we have available. Or we need to start thinking about how we can start bringing in all of our content and assets from our different media channels. So like Australian Super has done, we're starting to provide this rich video content. We're pulling in our Facebook and Twitter feeds so that we don't have to manually update these. Or maybe we work in public sector or university sector where we have a number of PDFs, far too many than we dare to count. And we don't want to go through the arduous process of making these into HTML files, HTML pages. And so instead, we just want to make them accessible, but we want something that can read them. Regardless of the step in the process, each time search is being used, and you can see each use case is very different. And so something that is very important going forward is when we think about our web experience, we can't overlook the search experience. Whilst it is a nuance, there's no doubt that it can help you to reduce your cost to serve, increase your conversion, and ultimately increase your student or citizen or customer experience. Now I'm going to pass you over to Sam, who's going to run you through a capability recap at a high level of some of the things that were used during Funnelback, and then also quickly walk you through the roadmap of where we're taking Funnelback in the future.
Okay, thanks, Simon. So Simon has shown you the ways the customers are leveraging the power of Funnelback search right now, but I'm guessing you'd also like to know what the future holds. But just before we go there, let's take a minute to recap the capabilities available to you right now. On the search front, you can incorporate content from various sources, regardless of the structure or location, using our website search. So you can include things like Facebook and Twitter. You can use our content widgets to automate promotion of content based on interaction. So if people are applying for a home loan, you could pretend, and you sell home insurance as well, you could perhaps have a promotion that you've got a discount on insurance pop up in the search. You can enable discovery based on content relationships using our knowledge graph. So if someone's coming to your site to look up courses because they want to study astronomy, and you have a lecturer in astronomy who's a Nobel Prize winner, then in your prompts for auto-completion, you could list the people who teach astronomy and maybe note that one of them is a Nobel Prize winner, which might encourage them to study at your university rather than somebody else's. You can also control where content ranks in the results based on nuances of the query or visitor. So for example, you can optimize results for if someone comes onto your site to search and they use an actual medical, a very specific technical medical term, you might weight your results towards things on your site that are for practitioners. Whereas if they come in and they've searched using a more layman's term, you might want to provide more general content. Let's have a look at the analytics side of things. So you can use our customer behavior data and trend alerts to optimize your content with the behavioral analytics component of Funnelback. You can maintain the quality of our content using our content and analytics by checking for spelling and grammar problems or whether you've got duplication issues. You can use our content auditing tool to check whether your site is accessible, responsive, targeted for the right audience, and not by lawsuit waiting to happen. And you can use our SEO optimization to integrate with Google Analytics to further extend your data analytics capability. Okay, so let's talk about what's next. We've established that search is important and that you need an effective search, and we've also shown you how search is being used to solve interesting challenges. So what next? Well, we think that implementing and managing your search should be made super easy. We think there should be one place to access everything: the product itself, the billing around your product, the plan you've signed up for. We think that setup should be intuitive, that administration of your product should be simple, and that immediate access to the latest capabilities should be a given. We also think it should be easy access to customize the product, whether that be creating new customizations yourself or maybe leveraging something that someone else has done. So, introducing our roadmap for Funnelback 2021 and the Squiz DXP. Between them, our new DXP and the plans we have for Funnelback itself will transform your ability to implement effective search. Let's have a look at the DXP first. Basically, it's a one-stop shop for all things Squiz, including Funnelback. The DXP is a cloud-hosted solution with a single portal for accessing and managing all your Squiz products and services. That includes search, analytics, content management, our new data store, which you can be used to collect customer data to understand your customer journey and deliver individualized customer experiences, and our integrations and marketplaces, where you can get pre-built experiences and integrations to accelerate your time to market. And what about Funnelback itself? Right now, for search, we're working on the Cloud Console for the DXP. We're also looking at our pre-assembled search experiences, which will be like our Funnelback for higher education product, doing things for other verticals, where basically out of the box we have some pre-configurations set up to tailor the search for a particular industry. We're also looking at Collection Creation 2.0, where we're taking the very first step on your journey for setting up Funnelback and looking at making it more intuitive, providing more guidance around the process you go through, and giving you a better dashboard for managing your collection artifacts. And we're also creating a plugins marketplace, which is somewhere where extensions can be made. So if people have made customizations to Funnelback that might be useful to others, we can put them into the marketplace and you can reuse them in your implementation of Funnelback. Next, we'll be looking at Collection Configuration 2.0. So once you've actually done the creation of your collection when setting up Funnelback, which is basically the data sources that you have associated with your search, the next thing you need to do is be able to configure them. And so we'll be doing the same thing to collection configuration, making it more intuitive, adding more guidance in the process for configuring, and better dashboards for managing the configuration of your search. We'll also be looking at instant upgrade. So the ability to make new capability available instantly on a fortnightly basis. After that, we'll be looking at Collection Administration 2.0, which is basically taking the final step of once your collection's been set up and configured, allowing you to administer it on an ongoing basis, making that more intuitive, better guidance throughout the process, and again, better dashboards. And we'll also be looking at having pre-assembled knowledge graphs. So similar to the pre-assembled search experiences, we're thinking about looking into building purpose-built knowledge graphs for different sectors such as the higher ed or the finance sector. Okay, and what about the analytics side of things? Well, right now we're working on Accessibility Auditor 2.0, where we're looking at incorporating the accessibility guidelines for 2.1, the WCAG 2.1 changes, and also improving the user experience to make it a little bit easier to understand the relationship between the guidelines and your site and what you might need to do to fix any issues. Next, we'll be looking at the marketing dashboard, where we're looking at introducing better support for sectioning analytics and generating reports to make it easier for those organisations where different parts of the organisation have stakes in different parts of the website to receive information regarding just the area they're responsible in terms of what they might be able to do or how their site is performing, part of the site is performing. We're then looking at Content Auditor, where we're going to put in an enhanced range of out-of-the-box checks and improve the user experience. So we're looking at potentially having the ability to link from the report of a content that's broken to the content itself straight away and fix it there and then. After that, we're looking at a plugin architecture for content auditing, and that's where we would create the ability for you to add your own custom audits. So if you have a style guide for your organisation, then you'd be able to feed into the content auditor some customised audits that could check your site to see that your pages were in line with your own company's style guide. Okay, so what can you do right now? Well, right now, you can leverage the features that I talked about earlier in our recap that are out there right now if you own Funnelback. You can look at your search analytics on the marketing dashboard to see whether there might be any trends or behaviours that you could address through changing or adjusting your content. You could read more about search and analytics in our new ebook and ultimate guide, which we'll be sending to you after this webinar. And you can book in for a free consulting whiteboard session with your account manager, where you could define your goals for site search, get them to assess whether you're hitting the goals if you already have some, and you can work together to work out how your search could be optimised to provide a seamless journey. That brings us to the end of our webinar. If you have any questions or would like to know more about the topics presented here, please do not hesitate to contact either Simon or myself. We would love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you.